Efficiency is the name of the game for businesses, but many may be wasting time and resources in a way they don't even understand. That's the premise of a new book, Fake Work, by Gaylan Nielson. Thanks for being here.
I'm very happy to be here.
So let's start with fake work. I think we all probably, if we're honest, practice this a little bit without knowing it, but this isn't just a matter of goofing off at work. Tell me what you mean by fake work.
Well, first of all, we have done extensive research, and we know that about 50% of all work is fake work. So that's a startling and scary statistic. And we'll tell you that when we first threw that out, we thought we'd get a lot of pushback, but we get way too much validation. People saying, oh yeah, we do at least 50% fake work. Fake work is not just distractions and the things that pull our energies off, or about the procrastinators or people who don't really care about work. In fact, we have a bias that almost everybody wants to do real work. And so fake work is defined as work that is not linked to strategy. And so very often in organizations, well, another statistic, 73% of people say that they cannot translate strategy into the work they do each day.
So they're essentially saying they don't understand how their job relates to the big picture.
They literally don't know how it connects and links together. So if 73% of people don't know what strategy is and how to translate it into the work they do each day, then it's very possible that they're not doing work that actually adds value to the organization.
Does that increase as it moves away from, I would think that the top of an organization, the CEO knows the mission and works toward that. His surroundings, you know, the people right around him, the next two levels maybe do the same. As you get further from the CEO, do you see more of the fake work pop up because they don't understand the
answer is no. And if you think about it, if you were in a manufacturing company and you went to the manufacturing plant, I probably find less fake work there just because almost everybody, you can identify their job quickly. I build X, I put together, I add this to, I put this on the chain, somebody else adds this component, and so I know what I'm doing. I might not know it strategically and connect it to strategic focus, but I'm probably doing mostly real work. Where you find huge pockets of fake work are in leadership teams, management teams, supervision, all the way down through the people who should know the most about strategy. Why? Because a lot of them have no idea what strategy is. They haven't invested in strategy in their organization. We use a model called strategy, alignment, execution. Simple model that we say sets up a chain of events that sets up the chain for success. So if you start with strategy, and an organization doesn't put the time and effort into strategy, then what they've done is set up a fake work chain. Now, many organizations, we find two particular things. One is too much time or too little time in strategy. Too much time means that they put tremendous effort. They've done retreats, they've put thousands, sometimes hundreds of thousands of dollars into developing a strategic plan. They develop this big honkin' document that nobody can read or understand. And then they don't distribute it, nobody sees it, nobody knows what it means anyway. The other side of that is people who think, well, I've got a mission statement and some core values, and that's strategy. It has nothing to do with strategy. It doesn't help us discriminate. It doesn't help us to compete better in the marketplace. So I need a strategy that is clear, easy to understand, that can be translated into work. In fact, we use another simple little acronym to ACT, A-C-T. Strategy needs to be clearly articulated, communicated effectively, and then translated, which means the organization has to begin to translate it in terms that make sense to them. So the strategy has to be right, and if it's not, you start up this chain of fake work. And in a lot of organizations, fake work starts the day strategy began. They are either going to wait too long, so it has no real value, it never gets into the organization, or they didn't take enough time and it isn't useful.
You go back to one of those original numbers you threw out, 50% of all work is fake work. That has to come at a tremendous cost to business.
If businesses would calculate this cost, they'd make dramatic shifts in the way they do everything. They'd make dramatic shifts in the way they anticipate every project, they'd anticipate every initiative that they're using, they'd look at every single job in a different way, they'd revamp their performance management system because it stinks. Performance management is one of the major contributors to fake work. That second piece in that model, strategy alignment, alignment is about getting people to work, to understand what we do as a team and work together. And so alignment means that we take a team, the composite skills of a team, and align them to the strategy. And this is where translation happens. So one of the questions we often ask managers is it your job to align your team? And the answer in about 90% of the cases is yes, that's my job as a manager. And we tell them it is not. Your job is to be a conduit, set up the conditions where a team can align, but the team has to do it themselves. They have to work together to create an environment where they are communicating differently, they're setting priorities, they understand those priorities, and they begin to hold each other accountable. It's a remarkable process. We use a process called the work itself, and we literally bring teams together to help them walk through this process and effectively understand or begin to align and translate strategy into daily work. And of course, execution is another word for just for doing the right work. In fact, my wife says she doesn't like to fly. She says you shouldn't have to go to a terminal, and I guess that's the word execution. You shouldn't have to, if you want to do good work, you shouldn't have to get executed for it. But it's one of those words that is sometimes misunderstood, but it really just means doing the right work.
The book is called Fake Work. 50% of all work is fake work, so let's figure out how to do less fake work and more real work. Gaylan Nielson, thanks so much for
You're very welcome.
coming to talk to us about your book. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much.